My next guest is an accomplished interior designer, self-made businessman who has worked his way out of the Detroit suburbs and through the design industry. Wow. Who has worked his way out of the Detroit suburbs and through the design industry to the top, where he owns his own interior design firm. In addition to designing celebrity green rooms for names like First Lady Michelle Obama, Oprah Winfrey, Joan Rivers, Halle Berry, and Tyler Perry, Steve Harvey, and becoming their in-house design expert, he is a new designer on TLC's Trading Spaces. Please welcome to Money Making Conversations, my man, Mikel Welch.
Thank you, Mr. McDonald. Thank you for having me.
Mikel, where you at right now?
Yes, sir.
Where you at right now?
I'm home in New York City for the first time. I'm like never home, so this is a first.
Okay, and what in part of New York has 5 boroughs? What part of New York City are you calling home?
I live in Queens now. I used to live in Harlem, but now I've recently located to Queens, and I'm loving it because I'm close to the airport, so I can jump on a flight at a moment's notice.
Airport meaning LaGuardia, which is LGA.
Yes,
if you travel too much.
I'm in between both, so I'm 10 minutes away from LaGuardia and JFK, so it's perfect for me.
Well, JFK one of my favorite airports because it's like a mall. If you ever go there,
yes,
and you don't have a clothes, you just want to shop. Just go to JFK and shop. It's an incredibly beautiful mall. It's kind of to me, it's like a hidden gem of malls, because you go in there, you go, okay, I've gotten everything out of there. Top makeup stores, clothing stores. I'm a shopper, so good food.
Well, that's definitely the place to go. They will hit you up for all of your dollars before you jump on that flight.
So Mikel, you and our relationship officially started on the Steve Harvey Show.
Correct. Yes.
And Steve Harvey Show, the talk show that we launched in Chicago roughly 6 years ago, and we was interviewing talent. And this young man came into my office. You want to tell him the story, Mikel?
Well, okay, I'll tell the story. Yes, I came into your office, and Steve Harvey was looking for a dressing room design, and I think that the main issue was he didn't like the color that was put in his office. And you asked me if I would design his office, but you remember me being on HGTV Design Star and designing a room that I painted green, and they sent me home on that show, and you asked me to design Steve Harvey's office, but the one caveat was I could not use the color green, and I will never forget that for the rest of my life. But that job was so game-changing, for you allowing me the opportunity to design Steve Harvey's office on my first day of work. That was kind of like the catalyst that got things going with my career.
But here's the fun part about our relationship. He made a mistake on this design show that I picked up on. The reason he got sent. And I just only say that is that, when you do these shows, you never know who watches them. You never know and the way he handled my conversation about that mistake was very professional. He didn't go into a defensive mode. He didn't go, I'm sorry. It was just, he just felt that worked at that moment, but it was where he positioned the television in the room, cost him the show. And I told him that I can see why you had the TV behind the sofa.
Yes, I remember that like yesterday. and since then, I've never done that ever again. So.
I said, yeah. The room looked nice, but the TV was behind the sofa, Mikel.
Yes. The TV was behind the sofa, and it was the wrong shade of green, and it didn't work out. So, yeah. Sometimes designers make mistakes.
But see, the problem is you are not a TV watcher. See, me, Rushion.
Yes.
I watch TV. There's no way I'm looking at turn my head looking at the TV behind me. But for design purposes, it was bad now. Oh, he had some ideas for the TV, but it wasn't watching. And so...
I own it.
Yeah, and he owned it. We laughed about it. We talked about it. I said, and I think that he felt that when I was talking about it, he wasn't going to get the opportunity. But again, he was talented. I was familiar with his career because it always shocks people that I watch so much television. I'm able to watch so much television, and because I know that's my job. If I could write it off on my taxes, I would. What do you do for a living? I watch TV. A whole lot of TV. What you watched last night, Rushion? TV. I watch TV on the plane. I watch TV when I landed. If I could watch TV while I was driving, I watch TV while I was out driving. I just need to drive. When somebody's driving me, I'm watching TV because that's my business. And so my business, I say that to say that if you in something, you have to give 100%. Because I was
Yes.
giving 100%, I saw this talented young man, and he gave him an opportunity. And guess what? He has not looked back.
No, I haven't. I haven't stopped. I felt like that was such a huge platform. And what most people don't know is, not only did I design that office, but I worked on the show every day. So I had the benefit of seeing you every day. So I would, kind of come to your office at least 3 or 4 times a week just to, ask your professional opinion on how I should, kind of guide my career path. And so that was something that was so invaluable that, I thank you for, because a lot of people don't have that opportunity. But for you to be so busy and to sit there and listen to me 3 times a week, I appreciated it. So I just listened, and like you said, I took it and I ran, and I'm still running. I don't think the run ever stops, is what I'm learning.
Well, it doesn't, and I think that everybody needs to understand that. And one of the things I always told you, even though you was doing the show, I said, do more.
Yes.
Don't be
Absolutely.
satisfied. Do more. Do more. Take this moment, and then he started appearing on the TV show, and that was something.
Yes.
And then we started working on his look. What's your look, Mikel?
Yes.
What's your look?
Yeah.
I think I'm wearing that. Dude, that's look bad. You can't wear that on TV. We used to talk like that, correct?
Oh yeah, you would tell me, you need to stop wearing those little tight vests, and you need to get something else that fits you a little bit better if you're going to present yourself on television. So, we had very, very honest. You are not a sugarcoater, so the conversations were they were real. They were real, but I listened. The thing that I had to learn really quickly with you is, the delivery might not come out the way people would expect it, but it's candid and it's truthful. Mm-hmm. And so you have to respect that no matter what. So did you hurt my feelings a couple of times? Yeah, but I had to tuck that in and, keep it going. It wasn't anything personal. You didn't have to say anything at all. So I always respected the fact that you took the time to even tell me, what you thought.
Well, my whole thing about bringing you on the show is just showing a testament of somebody who has a dream. He came from this platform, and sometimes we don't even know how we can get to the next step, because
right.
What Mikel did is what Mikel can do. Okay, what Rushion did is what Rushion can do. So, but I like for them to tell their stories so you can see that the bottom line is that criticism, you accept it. You don't take it personal, because somebody got to tell you what you're doing wrong in order for you to do it right.
Correct.
And you can't be a know-it-all. And then you got to take risk. And so, because of the fact that, hey, as a stand-up comedian, every joke I said on stage was not funny. Okay, until the audience stopped laughing, I realized I need to move that joke out of my. I like it, but it's not working out there for the general public. And so that's what you do. And you always have people out there making decisions for you that you have to accept. What people fail the most is that they don't want to be criticized. They don't want to take advice from anybody. They feel they know it all. That person right there cannot sit in my office 3 times a week like he did. Because if you know it all, please keep walking by my door, because my experience will have no value to you at all. Now, one of the things I wanted to bring up, the fact that, you're just talking about your struggles to get there, how, you slept on friends' sofas for a number of years. What was that feeling like at that point, Mikel?
You know what? When you're going through it, I don't really, well, at least for me, I never saw it as a struggle. To me, it was what I needed to do in order to further my career. So the fact that I was sleeping on a friend's sofa was great for me, because that allowed me to save money so that I could continue my career. Like, what a lot of people don't know is every episode that I was allowed on that Steve Harvey Show, I would save my money sleeping on sofas so that I could pay for a publicist. And so my publicist was, at that time, $2,000 a month. And I didn't have the money to pay for that, with the paying for rent. So I had to sleep on friends' sofas in order to keep that PR going. So what that did for me was allow me to keep my brand growing. So I never thought of it as like me I didn't think of it as I thought it was a sacrifice, honestly. I never thought about me sleeping on that sofa because that wasn't what it was about. I knew that this was temporary. And so for me, sleeping on that sofa, if I had to do it all over again, I would do it the same. You know, sleeping on that sofa allowed me to save money so that I could focus on my brain.
My goodness. And he would show me, he come in there every week or every other week, Rushion. He'd say, Mr. McDonald, look at what I'm in this magazine. Mr. McDonald, I'm in this magazine. I go, boy, that looks good. He's the new designer on TLC's Trading Spaces. We'll be back with more. Just telling his story. I want you to hear his story to let you know that you can be a story that I would one day interview on Money Making Conversation. We'll be right back with more. You're back. I'm back. Actually, I never left. How about that? I'm the host of Money Making Conversation. This is Rushion McDonald. I'm talking to one of the new designers on TLC's Trading Spaces. Please welcome back to Money Making Conversations, Mikel Welch. How you doing, Mikel?
Thank you. I'm doing great. Thank you again for having me.
Now, you're in Queens. Any good eating spots up there? You know, I'm a foodie dude. Any good eating spots up there before we start talking about this new show that you're on?
Yes, absolutely. You know, the thing about Queens is there's so many mom and pop restaurants. So if you are into authentic, like Indian food, this is the best place to eat. And so I eat very well. As a matter of fact, I have gotten to the point now where I just order everything online and I have it sent straight to my house. But Queens is just known for their Indian food, so I eat very, very well.
Well, good. It's good to know. Now let's talk about 7th season, Design Star. You was on Design Star. That's why I saw you on Design Star. Correct. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Now you moving to another show that's been on TV for a long time, Trading Spaces. First of all, how did the opportunity come to you, and then how do you start making your impression on the show?
Okay, so I actually, this is the funny thing how life works. I have an agent, and my agent gives me a call, and he says, hey, we got a call from Trading Spaces, and they'd like to speak to you. And I'm thinking, okay, time for another audition. Well, we get on the phone. 20 minutes later, they're asking me, what my availability is next week. And I'm like, oh, okay, here's my availability, but when is the audition? And so they said, well, we went online, and it goes back to what you're saying, when you never know people who's watching television. They said, we've watched all of your Steve Harvey episodes that you have online. We've already seen your work. We know what you can do, and we want you to start on the show next week. So I didn't even audition for that show. My audition was putting in all that hard work all those years before, sleeping on that sofa, hiring a publicist, and having all of those television episodes. So I didn't have to even audition. So that just blew my mind. And on top of that, one of the producers saw me on, which we didn't talk about, the Real Housewives of Atlanta. You got me in contact with Sheree Whitfield, and they saw that makeover, and they just asked me to start that week, of the following week. So it was one of those things where, they came in and they told me that they want to see some really dramatic and theatrical design. So for me, on Trading Spaces, it's about taking my design aesthetic and pairing it with my television background where I used to make sets, because they know that I can build things that are really eye-catching. And so on the show, I'm just trying to, bring my point of view where I can show people, how to make a big impact on a little bit of money, because they only give us $2,000 in 2 days. So it's not a lot of time. So I'm excited about this opportunity. I've been watching this show since I was in college. So it was a surreal feeling.
Why are shows like that so popular, like Trading Spaces?
I think shows like Trading Spaces are so popular because it empowers you to think that, not even to think, but to show you how you can make over a space without a lot of money, and you can do it in a weekend. Most people are working Monday through Friday, and their only off time is on the weekend. So they need something that is quick, easy, and attainable to do. And so I think people get inspired by those shows because it's like, hey, I have $2,000, and I can knock it out in 2 days, so let me try it.
Well, the interesting thing about Mikel and hearing this conversation about even the videos, we even talked about that. I would say, please put those videos on your website. Please put them on your website, because you have to always prepare. You just never know, but you do the work for the opportunity. When the opportunity presents itself, then you can achieve the goal. And that's all I've ever preached to anybody who listens to me. And that's all I ever told him. And guess what? Yes, I am straightforward. Yes, I am going to be factual because guess what? You have a time limit to be successful in entertainment. Entertainment is age driven. Know that. That's one of the things about entertainment. When you're young, they love you. If you have not gained any resume or experience while you were young, when you get older, they have no use for you. And so I was just asking him to say, hey, man, you're not going to get rich on this TV show. Use the brand of Steve Harvey for future opportunities. And that's what he did. He just listened to everybody. That's all. He made personal sacrifices that I was not aware of. All I know is he would come in my office and tell me, Mr. McDonald, I'm in this magazine this month. Mr. McDonald, look at this magazine. Mr. McDonald, can I use the pictures that I did on of Steve Harvey in this magazine? I said yes, because I was executive producer, co-creator of the show. I could sign off on stuff because I'm not going to limit a person's opportunity because I got an attitude or just because I could. If I'm going to give advice, I'm going to give motivation, I got to present people with the keys to success. And that's all I was doing with Mr. Welch on a regular basis. I'm going to call him Mr. Welch now because he on TV trading spaces on a regular basis. You know, he making money now. He in Queens now. Now, the thing about it is that you've done other things like I remember you was doing Pickler Ben, you know, what you said, the talk. Just talk about all these different things and you dealt with, I know people who are not famous. You've done big jobs in Chicago when you was doing simultaneously working for the Steve Harvey Show. And you asked me about that. I go, boy, if you don't get out of my face and learn that there's 24 hours in the day and learn to use all those hours, please go do that work. Because that's what it's about, correct?
Yes, no. You know, that was one of the craziest things. You know, like I was saying before, you know, I worked on the Steve Harvey Show, you know, as a set designer. And I don't know if most people know, we're working on that show 12 hours a day. And I have design clients who are calling me, and they don't care that I'm working with Steve Harvey at the TV station. They want me there at their homes. And so I had to hire an assistant. Mm-hmm. And that was expensive, you know, to hire a full-time assistant to basically be that voice while I wasn't physically on the property. But what happened was that allowed me to continue to grow my brand. And, you know, that was the first time I went from working on like little $2,000 budgets to $500,000 budgets. And so it was just a life-changing experience when I was on the show in Chicago. But I think what resonated with me the most was another conversation that you and I had. And this is when I was very, very money hungry. And I don't know if you remember, I came into your office and I said, I want to talk to you about writing a book. And you said, well, why do you want to write a book? I said, because I want to make money like everybody else. And you told me to leave your office. And you said, you need to leave because you don't get it. And you come back to me when you get it. And I was kind of shocked that, you know, you told me to leave that office. But it must have been about a year later. I was doing the neighborhood awards with you. And a lady walked up to me, and I had several women walking up saying, hey, can you come redesign my house? Can you come to my house? And I'm like, I can't just come to your house. And I remember coming to you saying, Mr. McDonald, I have all these people asking if I could come to their house, and I can't. But what I can do is put together a design seminar where I can travel to different cities and I can teach people what they can do in their respective cities since I can't physically come to their house. And that's when you told me, you know what? You get it now. It's not about you. It's about you helping someone else. And so it was just like all of those tools. And I don't even know if you remember that conversation, but it was that was a big thing for me because moving forward with every single thing that I do with my brand, if I have one thought about I just want to make the money, I stop. And I always go back to that conversation that you told me, you know, if it's about the money, it's never going to work.
No, it's never going to work. You know, I always tell people that there were many opportunities I passed on money for the opportunity. I remember when I was doing, I went from Steve Harvey's first TV show on ABC, and I went to Robert Townsend's show, and I was a writer, and so I wanted to change in title. And I said, look, I had a bigger title on the previous show because I went over here to the WB. They knocked my title back down. I said, I just want the title. I don't want the money. They had never heard that before. I said, people don't know,
Right.
people don't need to know that I'm not getting paid this extra amount of money. It's between. They said, will you sign a release that you won't tell anybody? I said, yes, because it's about the brand. It's about people understanding that I am rising up, that I am making a difference. And once people start coming to you and you change that tone that, hey, I'm here to help you, your career's taking off. Your whole approach, our conversations changed. We went from just being a mentor and a mentee to like partners in the conversation. Next step, what you're gonna do, why you're gonna do these things, and that's why the evolution of you, from introducing you to contacts of real Housewives of Atlanta, talking to your agents, and I've talked to everybody in his life. Everybody who's represented him, because I believe in Mikel Welch. And to see him advance this part in his life, and to see him do the things that he's going to do, what advice would you give to people who want to do what you want to do, or just want to be successful in life, Mikel?
I think the biggest thing that I've learned in the past 12 years in design is to really focus on what it is that you want to do. You can't be a jack of all trades. But most importantly, narrow down what you want to do and then find a mentor. Find someone who has already done it and who can show you the ropes. Because that, for me, has been the biggest help, because everybody's not going to be in a room with you. And I recognize that. But you need to find people who know the way. And I always go back to another conversation that you and I had where it was about looking at your friend circle. And if you're considered the strongest person in your circle, you might want to revamp that circle that you're in, because you should always be learning from someone else and not just, everybody else taking from you. And so I would just say, get a mentor and follow as hard as you can, and then begin to make your own way. And for me, that is what has truly helped me in my career.
Thank you, sir.